Here we go again. Linkin Park. Tell me you have unresolved childhood trauma, repressed memories, and suicidal thoughts without telling me you have unresolved childhood trauma, repressed memories, and suicidal thoughts. Typo negative. You're like the less gay leather-bound hymn fan, but with the trade-off of being slightly more fucking depressed. Motorhead. You will never be even a quarter of the badass that Lemmy was. You don't own a Harley, you own a broken down Honda with an aux that barely functions, a beer gut, and you are fighting male pattern baldness. Snap back into reality. Bell Witch. Your go-to answer to why you find an hour-long track with one fucking riff per 5 minutes is always, you just don't understand the experience, man. Deftones. Your favorite pastimes are getting catfished by femboys on TikTok and trying to fake that you don't have severe mommy issues. Trivium. You spend your time either on a manic low or a manic high because they either continuously meet or don't meet your expectations, but you excuse it because you really want to be friends with Matt. Deer in Grey. You couldn't just listen to an avant-garde metal band, could you? You just had to listen to the avant-garde metal band with a decapitated ostrich as the lead vocalist. Whitechapel. The band that went down the "let's be the most on the nose satanic black metal band" checklist, and the shock and awe bait gimmicks actually landed for you. Magua. You struggle to have a decent conversation with anyone about your favorite band because you're too damn busy trying to teach the dumb motherfuckers how to pronounce their name. Discordance Axis. We get it. The inalienable dreamless exist. You can shut the fuck up. Gridlink. The Chad Discordance Axis fan. Guar. You have a suspicious amount of furry energy radiating in you, don't you? Ice 9 Kills. Oh wow, your replica Negan from The Walking Dead bat, deluxe Blu-rays of the Halloween movies, and Werewolf Mask gave me no indication you were an Ice 9 Kills fan. Thanks for letting me know. Electric Callboy. You're the zany, lol, random guy that thinks you're the life of the party, but everyone would give anything to kick you the fuck out. Batushka. You don't know if you're morally allowed to like your favorite band half the time. Mournful Congregation. Your favorite band averages a 0 creative riff to 30-minute ratio, which is coincidentally the average sum of the bitches your musky, unkept ass will ever get. Rotting Christ. Greek black metal fans will look at them and say, well, I guess it's the fucking best we got. Steel Panther. You're kind of meh about their music if you were being honest with yourself, but you just want the excuse to go to their live shows for the chance of seeing girls with their tits out. Amur. You hate the Acacia Strain. The Acacia Strain. You hate Amur. Children of Bodom. I must applaud you guys because you're impressive. You somehow picked your favorite band to be the one that sits at the unique crossroads of writing the most boring power metal and the most boring melodic death metal. Congratulations. Blind Guardian. You'd walk down the road blasting Blind Guardian in your ears, wishing you could go to a Renaissance fair, but your $9 to $5 general job and wife that screams at you just wouldn't take too kindly to it. I Prevail. I didn't know that A Day to Remember had a new name with the leftover piss molecules from Linkin Park. The Black Dahlia Murder. Fuck you guys for requesting this. I'm not roasting them too soon. Rest in peace to Trevor, not to mention the Black Dahlia Murder just made good music. I don't really think I could roast much about them. Brand of Sacrifice. Every time one of their breakdowns hit, you levitate into the air spontaneously like you're performing an ancient Hindu ritual. Worm Shepherd. Wow, Lorna Shore, but worse. Whitechapel. Whitechapel, the band designed for crowd killers that have an endless supply of gray tank tops and spacers that make their ears look like calamari, all designed for the type of person that thinks Phil Bozeman is the only deathcore vocalist with decent lows. Vector. You're too busy sunk in the melodramatic lore to realize you have the dick of knockoff Voivod dangerously down your throat. Aelstrom. Aelstrom is your exception band for gimmicky genres. Scour. You. I like you. You like the good shit. Attila. You try your very, very hardest to just ignore reading any of their lyrics or even following Franz as a person, and if anyone points them out to you, you just sadly bow your head and say, yeah, I know. Bullet for My Valentine. You literally can't win, I'm sorry. You're either defined by the cringiest scene-core emo anthems of the 2000s or the dime a dozen arena rock anthems they tried to stumble through writing in the 2010s. I feel for you. Baby metal. You are one of three things: the supposed connoisseur of Japanese culture despite your only knowledge being surface level anime that you watched on Crunchyroll, someone that only likes them because of their Bring Me the Horizon feature, or you've had to suspiciously Google the ages of the members, and I don't want to ask about that. Pig Destroyer. If you are at work jamming them, you'd much rather click onto Pornhub to explain than explain to your boss any of their album covers. Kublai Khan, Texas. Now presenting everything you heard done better in the 90s metalcore scene, but now with shittier breakdowns! Sleep Token. You want to feel like you're special and creepy for liking the Faceless band, but you're as original as a Ghost fan and can't accept that your favorite band is the bastard stepchild of Deftones, Godspeed You Black Emperor, and Explosions in the Sky, minus any of the originality. Immolation. You are so passionate that you argue incessantly that your favorite band created some of the best death metal of the 90s and 2000s, even though you're arguing to a wall because no one is actually telling you that you're wrong. ISIS. You're thinking it, I'm thinking it, let's just both agree to not say it and move on. Machine Head. You're the type that wants your groove metal and new metal to have some balls to it, and you don't fuck with most of the pussy shit that came out around the same time. Animals as leaders. You know for a fact Tosin Abasi gets a staggeringly larger number of bitches than you, but you're okay with it because he's Tosin fucking Abasi. Limp Bizkit. I don't know, man, between the broken elbow you got at the skate park, your main character complex, and the Beavis and Butthead reruns on in the living room, I can't tell if you're just wanting and begging to be the laughingstock of your friend group or if you really want to be Fred Durst. Between the Buried and Me. The true Between the Buried and Me fan knows Colors is overrated and Colors 2 is a massive letdown, and you likely go for more of a hipster pick in their discography. Currents. If you're not disassociating and having an out-of-body experience while listening to your metalcore, you're uninterested. Godflesh. My lord, you're the type of music listener that would toss around the term avant-garde without knowing what the fuck the term avant-garde actually means. Polyphia. You're too busy trying to solve Einstein's hardest equations in the fucking Fibonacci sequence to realize that your favorite band is all style and no substance. Wormrot. The favorite grindcore band of the pretentious grindcore listener that stays firm in their belief that no other grindcore band is worth their time, despite them sounding like if Gridlink and Pig Destroyer had a one-night stand and birthed a fucking love child thereafter. In Flames. Your favorite band is the ugly cousin of the Dark Tranquillity at the Gates In Flames trio. Not as influential, not as musically diverse, not as interesting thematically. You picked the fucked up cousin with the wart on her cheek, wilting skin, and a regressing hairline, and you felt fine with that. Crowless. You leave every new Crowless album saying, I have no fucking clue what I just heard, but I liked it. Testament. Anthrax. If they were actually capable of writing catchy riffs. Rivers of Nile. Now I have an idea. Opeth shall be repackaged into a deluxe pack and slapped with a tag on the box saying, now with saxophone on it. And you ate that shit up. Sun. You can't name a single other fucking drone band, can you? Disturbed. The literal fucking physical abuse breakdown of Down with the Sickness really just hit you to your core and you've been hooked ever since. Mayhem. They are the lifeboat you are desperately clinging onto with your dear life because they're one of the only Norwegian black metal bands that still make decent old school music. Oh, the murder? Yeah, we don't talk about that. Dying Fetus. Brutal death metal may not be your usual cup of tea and you may have not even enjoyed them on your first, second, or even third listen, but those grooves just got into your head and now they're a drug that you can't quit. Caveller Talk. Oh look, it's Entombed, but if they had the album covers of Baroness and the scraps of Dark Throne's crust punk era. Alice in Chains. Oh god, I know you. You're the dickweed that wears black shades on when you're inside the house listening to Man in the Box like you're the fucking main character of your own neo-noir crime series. The Melvins. Bro, my clique and I love the Melvins. Wait, what? You mean the time I woke up in the back of an alleyway with a bag of mushrooms, a green liquid on my face, and a dead hooker? Don't even worry about that, bro. We're a great group if you get to know us. Erra. You have vented to your therapist about how your trust issues came specifically from Erra, since every time you got a little bit comfortable with them, you woke up and they had a new fucking unclean vocalist. Mudvayne. You know good and damn well that Chad Gray's completely obliterating his voice every time he tries to grunt his way like a primordial ogre through a song, but you don't care, because you've also blown out your voice trying to grunt along in the car to dig. Pearl Jam. How does it feel to know your idol inspired every grumbling hoarse singer of the 2000s and 2010s? Sincerely, fuck you. Vane FM. You were a New England metalcore fan and creamed your pants when these guys hit the scene. Loathe. You were a New England metalcore fan and creamed your pants when these guys hit the scene. Knocked Loose. You really want to go to a Knocked Loose show, but are downright terrified of being spinning fucking crane kicked to the fourth dimension by a roided out kid in a backwards snapback. Dance Gavin Dance. Between John Mess's incomprehensible lyrics, the inability to maintain a fucking lineup, and the songwriting itself, I am truly convinced that Dance Gavin Dance fans are the schizophrenics of the metal world. Sepultura. You guys get off the hooks, because you're all pretty chill, just some grooving, thrashing fans of hard thrash metal. You're lucky. For now. Code Orange. You have punched an unimaginable number of holes in your wall during their breakdowns, blurring out in a haze and not remembering how they even got there because you blacked out in your one-man mosh pit at 3 AM on a Tuesday in your bedroom. Undeaf. You probably don't like the surge of modern bands performing OSDM, but these guys rolled around and you pointed like that one fucking Leonardo DiCaprio meme and said, this right here, this is what I've been waiting for. Primitive Man. If your music doesn't feel like dropping a 4x4 cement block on your fucking ribcage while asphyxiating your own windpipe, you aren't interested. Twisted Sister. You're the same egocentric douchebag that will shit down the throat of genres like aliencore and porno grind existing because of their lyrical themes, but will gladly accept an entire genre built on men prancing around colored like the fucking Skittles flavors, with their hair frizzed out like Taylor Dane. Cool. Paysage d'hiver. You don't actually care about this project outside of Involved. You bought into the mass hysteria of it becoming mainstream in the metal sphere and you forgot about it a month later, only to rediscover it and say to yourself, wow, this was shittier than I remember. Mastodon. You know, I usually don't like sludge metal or stoner, but Mastodon simply moved my soul, said the fans, unknowing of the fact that Mastodon was about to spawn an entire scene of copycats that hitch back on them like a dusty caravan in the desert and milk their tits of every stoner riff they've ever come up with. Circle Takes the Square. You think you're an underground genius in the screamo genre for liking one of the most popular screamo bands to ever exist. You're quite literally the equivalent of someone liking OK Computer by Radiohead and thinking they're special. Gojira. Your favorite band confidently wrote a track called Flying Whales, thought it was okay in the studio, it got passed through a semi-major metal label, and you somehow sat content with fucking knowing that. Touche Amore. Too soft to be considered non-poser music? Too heavy to not just be screamo trash. Ulver. If you like them back when they were black metal, you have been tripping on acid for years now through their wacky-ass excursions into every electronic genre imaginable, and you're oddly fascinated, routinely don't enjoy it, but just can't help yourself but to come back. Ulver is truly the car crash you can't look away from. Dimmu Borgir. We get it. You're a baby, and you can't handle black metal if it doesn't have a violently raped violin and syncopated piano keys playing in the background, because you like your black metal with its balls chopped off like a horny pit bull. Archspire. Your idea of a fun musical experience is listening to a song played at 500 BPM, not knowing what the actual fuck you just heard, nodding your head and saying, "Great, I love it." Blood Incantation. Guys, I just found out something amazing. It turns out if you repackage the same shit 20 Buck Spin have been producing for a decade now and slap an alien on it, you can lasso in the Alex Jones fans, the hippies, and the pick-me-girl death metal listeners all in one rope swing. Ain't it great? Manowar. You are not the sex symbol you think you are. You are not a chick magnet, and your 15 layers of Axe body spray are not doing you any favors to change that fact. Make them suffer. All of these new deathcore kids acting like blackened deathcore is new while you're sitting there violently gritting your teeth and spinning Neverbloom for the 10th time this week. Suicide Silence. You would gladly give your life to bring Mitch Luckers back. Spiritbox. Okay, so there are two sides of the Spiritbox fan coin. You're either someone genuinely enjoying their creative choices and stylistic diversity and sonic influences, or alternatively, you're someone who has a severe dommy-mommy kink and go awooga every time Courtney LaPlante comes up on your screen. Merciful Fate. You have a surprisingly impressive way of convincing yourself that King Diamond is the edgiest, most demonic lead vocalist of any metal band to ever exist, in spite of him sounding like he is in the midst of taking a fully fledged hammer swing to his fucking nutsack when a musical note comes out of his poorly made corpse paint covered mouth. Skillet. The favorite rock band that listeners gaslight themselves into being metal all because their mother let them listen to 3 Days Grace, Red, and Skillet on the rides to their youth camp. Iron Maiden. You would walk down the aisle during marriage to the trooper and would gladly ditch said wife that you married for a life-size cutout of Eddie to put in your front yard. Sleep. You really listened to Matt Pike do his best Black Sabbath impression, heard a bit more distortion, and said, yep, I choose this. Bad Omens. You adamantly defend Bad Omens not sounding like Bring Me the Horizon, but fail to ever give a single fucking actual valid reason as to why Bad Omens do not sound like Bring Me the Horizon. Carcass. I'm not obsessed, says the wayward Carcass fanboy with a looming bookshelf and 20 different vinyl pressings of Heartwork behind him. Sabaton. You're the type of person that still goes out in the forest, picks up the largest stick that you can find, and tries to roleplay by yourself in the woods as a knight by fighting against trees. Full of hell. Isn't it incredible that 5, now 4 dudes from New England routinely come together to blow up a microwave, throw 15 forks into an active blender, and stick their dicks in electrical sockets, and you eat that shit up like it's musical innovation? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I had a lot of fun making this follow-up. Thank you so much for the support on the first video, and if you would like to see more videos in this series, potentially for different subgenres or just another video in general in this series, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below what your favorite was, and if you were offended by any of them. It's all in good fun. I love a lot of these bands. Some of these are my favorite bands, and it's just pretty tongue-in-cheek. I didn't mean to do anything else but poke a little fun at some stereotypes. If you did enjoy this video, drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I'd appreciate it a lot, and leave a comment down below. Share the video if you would like to. I will talk to you guys next time, but until then, my name is Jay Morris, and I'm signing off saying farewell.